Emotions over the death of a local man after a beating by staff at an upstate New York prison is coming to a boil. This as more action is being taken. Correction officers and staff involved in the incident over at Marcy Correctional Facility just outside of Utica have been suspended without pay. We found out that happened last week, and with one person already resigning. Isabel Garcia talked with the family attorney for Robert Brooks this afternoon. She joins us now with the latest. Isabel.
Yes, good evening, Adam. Robert Brooks' family is being represented by Elizabeth Mazer, a partner at a law firm based in Chicago. She tells me the family held a funeral and repast for Robert this past weekend. It has, of course, been a grueling week for the family with the holiday, but also they've been really leaning on each other. It was also just 1 week ago today they all met with investigators and the Attorney General to witness the body-worn camera footage at the center of this investigation. 14 staff members, mostly sergeants and corrections officers, were suspended without pay as of December 21st. This in connection to a brutal beating of an inmate at Marcy Correctional Facility earlier this month. Robert Brooks, a Greece resident previously serving a sentence of 12 years for an assault, died December 10th at a hospital in Utica just 1 day after more than a dozen prison personnel allegedly beat and restrained him both by handcuffs and by tying his legs together. After body-worn camera footage from the December 9th incident was released this past Friday, Governor Kathy Hochul called for the initiation of the termination process for all involved.
The way that Mr. Brooks is killed is just horrifying. It's, terrible enough to lose a loved one, especially an incarcerated loved one, when the family knows that they weren't with them, during their final moments. But I think it's especially hard to know that you've lost a loved one this way, to this kind of senseless act of violence.
Since body-worn camera footage has been publicly released by the state attorney general's office, which is investigating the death, News 8 also learned of other lawsuits where some of the officers accused in the Robert Brooks beating were also named.
Of course, we've heard these more recent reports about how some of these officers had been involved in other, alleged acts of pretty extreme violence against prisoners and, have been involved in ongoing litigation. And so it certainly raises questions about, whether there's a real cultural problem that's been allowed to fester in at Marcy or sort of within the prison system in general.
Mazer also tells me in the future the family is planning to file a civil suit over Robert Brooks' death. We'll have a lot more insight of what she had to say over at this article over at RochesterFirst.com. For now, reporting in the studio, Isabel Garcia, News 8.